Welcome everybody to the World GT Championship on the iRacing eSports Network. Big, huge apologies for the late start, but we are here. And we are at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia in Spain at the moment. And we are about halfway through, well, we're nearly at the end of the opening race of the day. But Josh Thompson leads the way with just ahead of, actually 2.9 seconds ahead of Oscar Mangan. It's Christian Rose in third, Mark Fletcher in fourth, and Ross McFarlane in fifth. The top two stayed as they were from the grid. But then looking down the order, highest Pro-Am driver at the moment is Simon Underhill in 11th, and then you've got Ben Gregory in 14th place as well.
Yeah, apologies to everybody that, massive apologies to everybody that couldn't see the beginning of the stream. Everything went fine in the media day, but when we pressed the stream button for this first race meeting of the day, everything seemed to go pear-shaped. But thanks to Sam Kimmo for stepping in, and we're on air now for the final few for the closing stages of this first race of the year.
Yeah, indeed. And looking at, I don't know what we're looking at actually at the moment, I'll be honest. So, yeah, here we go then. Looking at Oscar Mangan in the McLaren. Currently in P2.
New change for this season is that the World GT Championship has switched back to GT3 cars this season as opposed to racing in the GTE over the last few years. So that's why you can see the McLaren back, and there is Oscar Mangan doing pretty well in second place. But Josh Thompson, he is back, and right now he's currently setting the tone here in the BMW Z4 as well. So he's got a healthy 3.2 second lead here.
I believe, whisper it quietly, we might even see the we may even see the 4GT at some point this season, the old 4GT.
So race order for you. Josh Thompson leads the way, Oscar Mangan in second. Then it's Christian Rose in P3, the Czech driving for CQR Club with Pure Sims this season. Then it's Mark Fletcher in fourth. He's had a good race. Then Ross McFarlane in fifth. Then it's Ben Palmer, George McClay, Lewis Bibby, Michael Evdoka, and Barry Baird. The cars towards the rear, you got Nicole Foggy, and not the best start to the season for him. Mark Woodhouse, Billy Fletcher, Chris Daines, and Jake Blackhall all in the pit lane. So that's the tail of their first race of the campaign. I'll be hoping for better things in race 2, which will of course have the reverse grid, which will become accustomed to, as well as Josh Thompson is about to start what will be the final lap of the race.
It is indeed. Thompson looking pretty good at the moment. And, well, he's got a lead of 3 seconds. I'll be music to his ears. Going about his business very, very nicely in the BMW. Of course, he did drive that a few seasons ago in this championship, didn't he, as well?
Did, yeah. Remember it, the Reds and White Radicals BMW Z4. Back in it this time around. A safe pair of hands is the BMW Z4 on iRacing for quite some time now. Came onto the service in the summer of 2014 and is still going strong now. I'll tell you what, we've got the Isle of Man leading the way, then we've got Ireland in second, and then we've got the Czech Republic in third position. So well represented are we when it comes to nationalities. As we look here at Christian Rose, there he is in the Audi. 3 different manufacturers in the top 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 positions, with BMW, McLaren, Audi there in third with Christian Rose, and then Mercedes in fourth with Mark Fletcher as well.
Yeah, great to see that. Really good. That's what the World GT Championship is all about. We will bring you a full race, of course, after the break when we finish here. Josh Thompson looks like he's going to... he's close to taking the win.
Indeed he is. Going through the closing stages now. It's a good start to the season for Thrustmaster Movano. Looking here at the two TechSense Fitstar Motorsport teammates as well, in Mark Fletcher and Ross McFarlane, but the checker flag is at the ready. Josh Thompson is going to win the opening round of the campaign here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, with Oscar Mangan finishing in second and Christian Rose completing the podium.
Yeah, good result for Thompson. That's the way to start the championship. See, sometimes he struggles to put the consistency together, but I think over the last year or two, he's definitely grown into that role as a leading driver, and that's what he'll be wanting to do as this season goes on. Of course, this is the 7th season of the World GT Championship here on iRacing. I'm very glad to be with you, of course, going forward. See some of the drivers coming across then.
Oh, very close to the line there between, that was Ash Beard, Ethan Bass and Matt Bunn as well. All very close there over the line, covered by a couple of temps.
I know that some of the drivers have been struggling with the storm as well. So struggling with the internet and the some of the signal things in their houses. So hopefully it's not impacted anybody too much. Looking down the field, we've also got 3 classes this year, Adam. We've got the pros, we've got the pro-ams, and we've got the amps. So
Indeed, yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, 3 classes to split across everything. I think I've just finished. I think I've just sorted out what the audio issues were. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Simon Marshall, we're looking at here. Very colourful scheme, I must admit, going through the right hand. I'm trying to decipher what the main colour of that car is. Is it chrome? Is it something metallic anyway? Ablazoned on that car. But yeah, Simon Marshall, 41st in the opening race in the Team Rookie Monsters 73 Mercedes. Hopefully we see a bit more of that up towards the sharp end of the grid as the season goes along. That was no pun intended.
Quite a few cars represented. We've got the Mercedes, we've got the BMW, McLaren's out there. I haven't seen the Ferrari yet, but I believe there are 1 or 2 knocking about. Yeah, that pretty much concludes the first race of the day.
Right then, so without further ado, we can bring you the finishing order. You can see the timing tower on the left hand side as well. We've got a nice colour code as well for you for this season to indicate which classes are where, and we'll get that finishing order on your screens any moment now. Don't forget, of course, we've got the reverse grid to come in race 2 and race 3. We've got 3 20-minute sprint races to bring the curtain up on what is set to be another brilliant season in the World GT Championship. Ash Thompson. All right, okay, no worries. Yeah, more technical issues. It's that kind of night, I think. Josh Thompson takes the opening race then at a Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Oscar Mangan heading him home in second, and then Christian Rose completing the podium in third. Mark Fletcher 4th, Ross McFarlane 5th, and then the top 10 is rounded out by Ben Palmer, George McClay, his teammate Lewis Bibby, 9th Michael Evdoka, and 10th Barry Baird. 11th is teammate Simon Underhill, and it's Pete Harrod in 12th. If my position gains are anything to go by, he's had a pretty eventful race to gain 22 places. Then it's Ben Gregory 13th, James King, good to see him in this series, he's in 14th place. Richard Warmingham in 15th, then Nick Madsen, Mike Gray, Andy Shield, Fraser Williamson, and then Steve Burke completing the top 20. 21st is Mike Horder in the Booster Motorsports car. Then after that, you have got, goodness me, that is that's Bart Parrett, and then that's his compatriot in 23rd. Then 24th, Ethan Bass, then 25th, Ash Beard, Matt Bunn. Then it's Kip Stevens in 27th, Lars Jepsen in 28th, 29th for Kevin Boland. And then it's John Roberts completing the top 30. Then Craig Jones, Morgan Butler, Michael Blake in the Team Mad number 18. Then it's Adam Hedgecock, Carl Jacquelet, Chaz Draycott. Thanks as always for the trailer, Chaz. At least we got to wear that earlier. Then Paul King in the BritTech eSports car 37th. The Maltese, John Aegis in 38th. Then Matt Draycott, and then Niall Crofer, and Simon Marshall, we were mentioning him. Then Lars Van Rijn, then Dean Timms. Nathan Dixon in 44th. Tom Jacobs. Then 46th place is the other Belgian. Then Chris Coughlin in 47th. Simon Field 48th. Jack Hills 49th. 50th for Jake Blackhall. And then Chris Daines, Billy Fletcher, Mark Woodhouse, Nicole Foggy, all experiencing issues during the race. I tell you what, that Belgian team, that colour, I struggle to read the names on. I don't know, that's just my eyes. But I'll have to go off the timing tab for those ones, I think. Alas, we've got the first reverse grid of the evening. Again, apologies that we couldn't cover the entirety of that first race. Sound issues plaguing me. And then thankfully Sam Kumo stepping into the breach to fill in for the remainder of the opening race. But we're on air now, and we will get the entirety of the rest of the race meeting brought to you. But who is going to be on the pole position for race 2? That is what we're all asking. And any moment now, we'll get the reverse grid up on the screen. It's on the screen now.
It is on the screen right now.
And we'll spin it and find out who's going to be on pole for round 2 of the season, race 2 of the day, here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia.
Okay, so it is going to be 17.
Oh, 17, that is Mike Gray. It's a very short reverse grid. The XVR Sim Racing car's going to be on pole with it.
All right, well, we're going to see how they get on. Thanks for the patience for everyone watching on the iRacing eSports Network. We will be back after the break with more from the World GT Championship, so stick with us over here on the iRacing eSports Network.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's Howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Parabolka. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the Parabolka. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to the World GT Championship here on the iRacing eSports Network. We're here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And Adam, well, race 1 went to Josh Thompson, but now he's got a fair bit to do coming from what is going to be 17th place. Here is the grid on the screen. Mike Gray is going to be on pole with Nick Madsen alongside him. With then Rich Warmingham in 3rd and James King in 4th. Ben Gregory takes 5th ahead of Pete Harrod. Simon Underhill in 7th. Barry Baird in 8th. Michael Docker 9th. Lewis Bibby in 10th. George McClay 11th. And Ben Palmer in 12th. Ross McFarlane in 13th place. Mark Fletcher 14th. Christian Rose in 15th. Oscar Mangan 16th. 17th is Josh Thompson. 18th Andy Shield. Fraser Smith in 19th and Steve Burke in 20th. 21st place is going to be it's going to be there on the screen, and we go through the grid there as you can see it.
There we go. Thanks very much, Woody. There we go. All the cars on the screen now.
There we go.
And I begin rolling on the formation lap ahead of the second race of the day. BMW's at the front again. They are well represented today. Here is Mike Gray in the XVR Sim Racing car, and he's wasting no time of getting up to speed on this formation lap. Cars on the in the green, going for the Pro, then you've got the yellows, and then you've got the oranges as well. And they're all sorted by class, so you can see who's leading what class throughout the entirety of the broadcast as we go into the complex, getting ready to get the second race of the evening underway.
Yes, you might have to take the starts actually. I'm struggling with some video issues.
There we go then. Through the final chicane we go. And the field is now in the hands of Mike Gray and Nick Madsen to get round 2 of the World GT Championship underway here on the iRacing eSports Network. Cars begin to accelerate now. Green lights are on. And we're underway here. It was a late go by Mike Gray, so everyone behind him is pretty much bunched up, and you can see them all fanning out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide in some places as they get on the brakes. It's going to be Gray that leads into the first chicane. Watch out here, we're looking at Pete Harrod in the Sim Sports Racing USA McLaren. That's right, McLaren back in the World GT Championship for another year. We switched to GT3 regulations, if you're new. We've been racing in the GTE cars for the last few seasons. On the inside here goes Lewis Bibby. Contact is made with the BMW. And the Mercedes forced out a little bit wide there. He's now side by side with Simon Underhill going up the inside into Sayat, and he gets hit by the Mercedes card 989. That was Michael Evdokum in a Texans Fitstar Motorsports car. That causes a whole chain reaction behind him, and a few lights flashing in some places as well as we go into the chicane. Car 49, that is Josh Thompson. He's on the comeback trail already after winning the opening race of the day. He's already gained 4 places as they go through the fast right-hander, and onto the back straight we go. Remarkable how many cars we've got in this series. But the inside into one of the key overtaking points on the circuit there. There's a dive bomb by one of the Mercedes in the background there. Looked like one of the boosted cars. Must have been Mike Horder, car 17 and P16, and there's cars around. They're on the rallycross circuit almost. That's Lars Jepsen in the Mad Cow Racing number 023 in down to 16th place he goes. Gets back out on the circuit. I hope that hasn't given him any slowdown penalties or whatnot. He rejoins just behind one of the Brittech eSports, one of the Brittech Sim Sports cars. More chaos. That is 99. That's
Oscar Mangan.
Oscar Mangan, and all sorts of chaos kicking off at the chicane.
Rose going down the order. I can't see anything. I'm looking at the tower only, but Butler, I think, in a bit of bother as well, and Tim's going down as well.
No, cars sliding all over the place. Matt Draycott almost in the pit wall. The Team Lizard Motorsports car not having the best of debuts here in the World GT Championship this season. At the end of the opening lap, it's Mike Gray that leads, Nick Madsen in second, then it's Rich Warmingham, Ben Gregory, James King, then Pete Harrod, or should that be Harrod then King, and then it's Baird, Bibby, Fletcher and Ross McFarlane competing in the top 10. Into the pit lane is
Van Ryn, I think, is it?
Yes, it is, yeah. Oh, off! It's King! Oh, no! Well, he was in the top 5, and he's toppled out of that. And the Simsa eSports car is having a look at all the cars. He's now got a pass. Oh dear me. Not at all what James King would have wanted to get the season underway here. The Audi did well in round 1, in race 1. But now he's way down the order as we cut back to fight between these guys. This is Lewis Bibby, Pete Harrod, Barry Baird, Mark Fletcher also in there too for good measure. Quite a few manufacturers represented too. Hopefully we get this for the entire season. You've got Mercedes, McLaren, Audi, 2 Mercs as well. And McLaren right now is keeping the Audi at bay as they go through the final chicane to the front straight. Me and Mr. Woodhouse here, we did try and get into what was the Blancpain GT series, now known as the VRS GT series in the McLaren. Didn't go too well.
Not really.
At least it's on our part anyway.
Even with the very capable hands of Alex Marshall in our team, we couldn't do anything.
Oh, there's a car over. It's rolling, it's doing all sorts. It's one of the McLarens. That is Jack Hills. We already had one car.
Is that the Rolling Hills?
Oh no. No, we are based in the foothills of the Montserrat region of Spain, and yeah, Jack Hills, for a second, was the tallest peak on the circuit. Simon Underhill, here we are, we're riding on board with him. He is 3rd in class in the Nomad Sim Racing car, but in terms of overall position, he is in 12th. He's trying to get 11th of Ben Palmer here in the Sim Sports Racing USA car. He's in the McLaren. Underhill here is in the Audi. That big sausage curve on the exit of the chicane, now into the right-hander where Heikki Kovalainen had his massive incident 12 years ago now. Now on the way towards the one of the hardest braking points on the circuit at the hairpin. There's a battle going on in front of these two. The car's scattering all over the place. There's an Audi in strife. That's Barry Baird in the Nomad Sim Racing car.
Yeah, Baird off at turn 10. Wide, barely ahead of McClay. Then it's ahead of them is sorry, behind them is Stephen Burke. I'll get it right in the end. There is Steve Burke though. He leads his category at the moment.
Tell you what, the pace at the front is blistering. It's Gray with the fastest lap. That's then toppled by Bibby with a 1:43.617. These guys, of course, it was a very small reverse grid, so the cars that were inside the top 20 are pretty much all reversed. Everybody else all starting where they finished. And right now, Gray, Madsen, Warmingham, they're all doing a terrific job at the front. Gray leading Madsen by 2 tenths. As we look here at Mike Horder in the boosted motorsports car, the Welshman, currently in 16th place, 5 positions gained, 4th in class, as he tries to hunt down Steve Burke in the Team Lizard motorsport car in front of him. Once again, we did say at the beginning of the show that the liveries on offer in this World GT Championship, it is literally a kaleidoscope of colour here, and that Team Lizard motorsport car is looking mighty fine in the early stages.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm having issues, mate. I'm going to try and get it sorted, but I don't know what it is.
One of those days, I think, for all of us here. Thanks to Sam Kumo again for filling in for us tonight. Media day, I tested the stream, everything was fine. And then get the first race meeting underway and the computer just did not want to play ball. But that's me with the
It's the case with technology, mate. Honestly, you can come to something, you can not touch it for a whole week, and then it just doesn't work for absolutely no reason. But there you go. That's how it is.
Enough of our excuses. Here is Mark Fletcher, and he's got my excuses. Here is Mark Fletcher. He's got Ben Palmer for company behind him. This is a good opportunity to see what the slipstream's like. This is going to be Mercedes versus McLaren, something that we don't see too often these days in the world of Formula One.
They do sound fantastic though, don't they, going down the main straight here? The Barcelona, one of the longest straights on the calendar. And sliding around, you can hear the tyres, the rear tyres of the Mercedes. Didn't like it through turns 1 and 2. I've heard from some of the drivers, Adam, ahead of the race, that they don't particularly like the Mercedes around this track. It feels a bit difficult, shall we say.
does often look like it's sliding about a little bit. Here is a good battle between Audi and Merc. It's shaded the old DTM before they withdrew, and that is Barry Baird getting by, so that's him up into 14th place overall. And you mentioned Barcelona. This is a calendar that goes all the way through the globe. We start off at Barcelona today. I think next week we're at Mount Panorama in Bathurst for an enduro. That should be good. Then we got Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Then we've got Interlagos in Brazil. Then we've got Silverstone for another enduro, America, Monza, Daytona, the enduro there, and then Suzuka, Spa, the Glen for an enduro, and then we end the season at Imola.
Yeah, fantastic lineup of circuits in this championship. Season 7, who would have thought it? We started covering this series. Well, did you do season 1 or was it season 2 for you that you started? I know I came in season 2.
I think we took it on board in season 2. I don't know if season 1 was actually.
Oh, there's an Audi there.
Sure. No, that's Lars. He's getting used to that rallycross circuit at Barcelona. That's for sure.
Good little rallycross circuit actually. As well, not a bad one. Quite tricky.
It's ever gone on. I think it was on Dirt Rally 2.0. Yeah. Onto the front straight we go here.
Do iRacing have the rallycross circuit here in usage?
Good question. Maybe it's
that'd be a cool one for the World Championship.
Three
look
wide.
at this, 3 wide down the main straight. No idea who it is, I'm afraid.
Oh, what a move by the Audi there. And that's Nicole Foggy. Of course, he started last, let's not forget, after issues in round 1, and here he is up into 34th place now. It's 19 places game. Problem for Warmingham. Sim racing cars in the wall.
That's in the gravel at Worth. So he must have gone. I can only imagine he's got on the grass on the way in.
Oh, here's a replay.
That far away.
Inside curb, maybe. No, that's fine. Everything fine here. Gets on the brakes. Oh, on the grass. Oh no, Warmingham. Oh dear. Good spot by you, by the way. I would have had no idea where that would have been.
I only looked on the track map, mate.
Oh, right.
I would take credit for it, but yeah, I had a look over there.
And it looks like he's saving his energy for race.
I must admit, I don't think I've ever seen a car in that far in the gravel trap there, though.
I think I might have seen Felipe Massa off there somewhere, or maybe Scott Speed, one of those two. In that gravel.
I think it's time for the dry tyres, guys.
Well,
down the straight again. On the hill, that's the fastest lap.
Maybe it's not the best to mention Scott Speed on this channel. Ross McFarlane up in 5th place then, and he's chasing down this guy, Josh Thompson, who has gained 13 places to get up into 4th. Tell you what, with just under 9 minutes to go, it'll be a tall order for Josh to get to Lewis Bibby, who is 3.3 seconds up the road, as we have these two scrapping away.
I'll tell you what though, the pace he showed in race 1, very, very, look at this here. And this is Fletcher, Gregory, Palmer, Nave Doker, I think.
Tell you what, credit to these guys. We watch the RLTCR every Thursday night, and this is just exactly the same, but these cars are so much more unstable. If you try to do the racing in the RLTCR in this series, you're both going to end up in the gravel.
Yeah, that is definitely true. No doubt about it. And Evdoka going for the big one round the outside of 10. Can he do that? Oh, a big slide on the inside by the Mercedes of Gregory. And Palmer goes through.
Yeah, the battle of the bends in full effect there. And it is Messrs Palmer that comes out ahead of Gregory there. So that's Palmer into 9th overall, Gregory into 10th. Hope you're making sense of the timing tower on the left-hand side. Fastest lap of the race, Josh Thompson, we were just talking about him. 0.6 of a second quicker than Lewis Bibby in front. Gap down to 2.9 seconds with 7.5 minutes to go. Look at this. Palmer v Evdoka now through Renault, the long right-hander. if he gets a good exit here, then McLaren, he might make the move up into the right-hander here. Let's have a look and see if he can. Just not close enough this time. It is a very difficult place to get a move done in these cars, this right-hander they're going through now.
Yeah, definitely is. Such a fast entry. Not a lot of braking zone there in order to get a move done.
Now through the second of the chicanes. You can see how close it is in the battle graphic on the right-hand side. 0.6 of a second between Palmer and then Gregory. But look at him. Oh, I thought he was going to lose the car entirely there. And look at this. Fight for the lead. And it's a free car scrap for the lead. It's Gregory, Madsen and Bibby all within a couple of tenths of each other. Half a second.
Yeah, Mike Gray continues to lead. And...
oh, you don't want to go for a move there.
oh, not really. I mean, you can do it. You can do it, but the other guy has to leave it wide open to try and get through on that one. Oh, big switch from the BMW of Ross McFarlane as he came through the last corner. He nearly ended up in the gravel.
Well, we've got 6 minutes just under 6 minutes to go. I wonder what the chances are of this being a four-car scrap by the time we get to the white flag. Fastest lap of the race, incidentally, by or in his class anyway. Fastest lap in class for Burke as we go through Renault again. And you can see the BMW is able to keep a tight line through that right-hander. Ferrari running out a bit wide, and then the Merc also doing that. Not many Ferraris in the field today, I must admit. We've got Madsen here in second. I think we've got Craig Jones, Carl Jacquelet. I think, that's about it.
I thought you'd get more, because even though I know some of the drivers, a couple of seasons ago before we switched to the GTE cars, they struggled slightly with the Ferrari, but I always thought it was a dependable car. Always one that seemed to be solid, if not the outright quickest on the circuit. Really does. I think with the GT3s, really comes down to your own driving style and what you prefer.
It's true. So I stuck with the BMW. I haven't actually tried the GT3 and the Ferrari. Did try the Mercedes.
BMW has no straight line speed.
Well, it's true. But look at this. But hopefully Mike Gray can use the advantage of the BMW in the corners to keep these guys at bay. I don't know where he's going there. Thankfully, the gravel trap isn't too deep, and he's able to keep these guys at bay. But within the space of a lap, it's a four-car train.
Oh, who's that? Who's that in the white Mercedes?
Oh,
Maybe trying to go around the outside. Comes Thompson inside. Get third place back. And he looks like he's done so. Excellent work by Josh Thompson.
great job by them. Now let's see if Thompson can invade these guys at the top two. Good exit. Now what can Thompson do about the Ferrari into the chicane? Thinks better of it there. It's amazing how close these guys are through that chicane. That sausage curve on the exit can prove to be tricky if you hit it in the wrong way. Could end up spitting you out altogether. Yeah. Down the back straight we go.
On the BMW going round the outside. Thompson really going for all the marbles there, but quite do it. It's a great drive by Gray, isn't it, Adam? You wouldn't have thought he'd be able to hold on this long.
Solid effort here from Gray.
And that's no disrespect intended, by the way. That's just it's very, very difficult in the reverse grid races to be at the front and stay there. Know that from experience. And this is McFarlane then having a big go on Bibby, who looks like he's struggling the last couple of laps. He's falling back, and falling back towards Pete Harrod in the CQR car. Oh, sorry, the Sim Sports Racing car.
Through Renault we go. When we get to the end of this lap, we should get the white flag. We should have enough to squeeze 2 more laps in here, including the one that we're on now. Biggest movers in the field. A few cars have gained 20 plus. Nick Foggy, 24 positions gained. Great job by the Scotsman. Here he is. He's trying to get some more here as he lines up Simon Field. Scotland versus Ireland. Going into battle here. And Thompson's through into second, it looks like.
Just trying to go. Oh, go around Madsen. He pushes him out slightly. And there, McFarlane then takes advantage. Although,
second.
Fighting back is the Dane. And down the inside goes the Mercedes. Look at that, Bibby. Well, we were writing his obituary a few seconds ago. He's not done by any means with just 1 lap to go.
Great fight between these two. Who's going to come out on top into the complex?
Whoa, that's nice from Madsen. Drove it in there hard. He's going to be under pressure though now. Needs to nail this final corner.
Yeah, the downside
of opportunity, but look at this. He's going to be right in the slipstream.
Downside of parking it on the apex is going to be a disadvantage here.
It's not too bad though. Can't get enough slipstream on it. Very late on the brakes. Look how hard the discs are glowing on that Mercedes compared to the Ferrari. 2-3. Brave, but you can set up turn 4 here, and that is what Lewis Bibby's trying to do. Maybe has the tiniest overlap. He throws it up the inside. Doesn't complete it though. Madsen hanging it around the outside. And it has the inside into 5. They make contact. Very nearly spits Bibby off into the gravel.
What's going on? This is a fantastic scrap for best of the rest. Into the chicane we go.
Oh, and he's pushing hard now. Lewis Bibby.
Bit of damage as well to the Merc.
I think, yeah, that's just adding to the damage I think he had at the beginning. Pete Harrod's there as well. Don't count him out for some bubbly. But on the inside goes, Thompson's going round the outside and he misses it. He misses it completely. Oh, he comes on. And now McFarlane wrestles second place away. But Mike Gray, well, unbelievably, started on the pole and has driven an absolutely fantastic race. It's coming around the final corner now.
What a performance by BMW. It's going to be 2 wins out of 2 for them. It was Thompson in race 1. Mike Gray is going to come through for XVR Sim Racing. He flashes the lights with delight.
Oh, yeah.
Because he loves it, because he wins the second round of the day and the second round of the season in the World GT Championship.
What a win for Gray. It looks like Gregory's taken the second place in the category. McFarlane.
Oh, no.
Oh, what's happened? Oh, it's John Roberts. In the Ferrari, he was in... I don't know what place he was in overall. He's now dropped down.
Wasn't 22nd.
He's 11th in his category.
Down to 28th. Eesh. What a shame for John Roberts.
I don't think he lost any positions in the category though, Adam, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I think it was just positions overall.
Maybe just the one.
For him. Car still streaming across the line. We have 54 cars to start this one. There is Casper Engels that comes across the line in 42nd place in a CC TS eSports Red GT car. Don't know if it's any relation to Bjorn Engels.
No, you never know.
No.
Up the villa and all that. Rich Warmingham for XVR didn't have a very great time of it out there. Adam Hedgecock, who I assume was probably recovered from injury now, is down in 49th. Did have 4 retirements in that race actually. Lars Van Rijn, we saw that he was in the pits earlier on. Dean Timms, Jack Hills rolled over near the start, and Oscar Mangan and Jake Blackall. I'm not sure what happened to them. I think Mangan
yeah,
crashed, didn't he? I think he had an issue.
But yeah, Mangan was was off at the chicane, same place where Jack Hills was in issues the following lap. So yeah,
Well,
not the best.
What a tremendous win for Mike Gray. Absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, that puts down the marker, doesn't it, to the rest of his category that he wants the title.
Indeed, yeah. Let's running through the finishing order. I don't think we can get it on the screen, but we'll do it anyway. There it is on your screen.
Might be because there's somebody still out there. Is it? Okay.
They're all finished now.
They've all finished.
So race victory goes to Mike Gray, second for Ross McFarlane, third for Josh Thompson. Then it's Nick Madsen, Lewis Bibby, Pete Harrod, Mark Fletcher in 7th, 8th for Ben Palmer, 9th Michael Avdoka, completing the top 10. Ben Gregory, his teammate. 4 TechSense Fitstime Motorsports cars inside the top 10. Barry Baird 11th, 12th for George McClay. Then it's Simon Underhill, Andy Shield, then Steve Burke, Mike Horder, Matt Bunn in 17th place, and then one of the CCTS cars in 18th. 19th place for Ethan Bass, and then 20th for Ash Beard. 21st Christian Rose, then Chaz Draycott in 22nd for CQR PNM, and Kevin Boland in 23rd. Nicole Foggy in 24th. A fantastic drive through the field from him. When we last checked in, he gained 24 places. In the end, he gained 29 to finish in 24th place. He started last as well. Kip Stevens, 25th. 26th for Craig Jones. Then we got the TechSense Fitstyle Motorsports car, Tom Jacobs. He's ahead of John Roberts, who was tipped around, it looks like, in the closing stages at the chicane. John Aegis in 29th. Then Simon Field in 30th. Then Billy Fletcher, Michael Blake in 32nd. 33rd for Mark Woodhouse. And then after that is another one of the CCTS cars. Then Carl Jacquelette in the Year 1 racing car, 35th. Paul King, 36th. Chris Danes, 14 places gains to finish in 37th. Gains for Danes. Then Lars Jepsen, off on the rallycross circuit a little bit during the second race. Finished 38th, did the Dane. Nicest place to live in the world, I believe. As far as as I'm told, apparently. Morgan Butler, 39th, 40th for James King. He was off after the Repsol hairpin. Or is it the stay-out hairpin? Niall Crofer in 41st. Then it's Casper Engels in 42nd. Adam Hedgecock, Rich Warmingham, Fraser Smith. Then it's Simon Marshall, 46th. Then Nathan Dixon, Chris Coughlin. Then Matt Draycott, Lars Van Rijn, Dean Timms, Jack Hills over on his roof at the chicane. Oscar Mangan was off at that very same chicane, the final chicane on lap 1. And Jake Blackall, the Aussie, finished in 54.
All right, well, the reverse grid wheel is going to decide who's going to start on the front row in the final race of the day. And I believe Sam will have that for us in just a moment.
Yep, actually the wheel is already spinning. This time around it's gonna be a little bit larger reverse. It will be 29.
29 is going to be John Aegis. So, well, John, yeah, it's spelled twice on here. One of them, right?
Yeah.
John Aegis is going to be on pole position anyway, ahead of John Roberts, whose spin has ironically put him down in the put him onto the front row. Tom Jacobs is going to be on the second row for TechSense Fitstyle, and then Craig Jones for SCC Racing in 4th place, with Ellis Stevens for Year 1 Racing in 5th. So, join us back here on the iRacing eSports Network then, as the World GT Championship rolls on.
to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit crash sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Kroenke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's Howling down to the inside.
I tried, there's contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back, everybody, to Barcelona from the iRacing eSports Network with the World GT Championship Season 7, Race 3. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, and Sam Kumo for Apex Racing TV. Here is the grid for round 3, and it's John Aegis on pole, Adam.
Yes, it is. The Maltese is at the front. Can he get his Mercedes to the top step of the podium, though? That is another question. We'll wait and see with interest. John Roberts starting in second. Then it's Tom Jacobs third. Craig Jones in his Ferrari in fourth. Then it's Ellis Stevens, Nicole Foggy, Kevin Bollen. Then it's Chaz Draycott, Christian Rose, and Ash Beard for year one, completing the top 10. The rest of the grid will cycle through your screen. It was a slightly bigger reverse grid for race 2. For race 3. 25 cars reversed for that one also. And compared to the 17 we had for race 1. So yeah, there you go. It's 29 cars, I should say. So that is Mike Gray starting down in 29th, and then everybody else after that starting where they'd finished.
My favourite as well, a short pace lap. So there you go.
Are you a fan of the short pace lap?
I love the short pace lap. John Aegis then. The KC Racing eSports livery on as far as I can see then. Here we go. John Roberts. That boosted car looks tremendous. Also could cause seizures or something potentially. Here we go then. Through the final chicane then. For race 3 to start. John Aegis in the Mercedes is going to bring us to the green flag. Gets a good getaway as well. Poor start for Roberts, and Tom Jacobs already coming alongside in second place. Well, Roberts coming back in the Ferrari. Top end speed of the Ferrari. Jacobs is in there.
I don't want to embarrass anyone, but someone in the background had crashed before they even crossed the line.
Oh dear.
I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Matt Drake on the Team Lizard Motorsports car, not sure, but very close between Roberts and Jacobs here going into the right-hander under the bridge. Probably embarrassed myself today. Couldn't even broadcast the race. Down into the hairpin we go. Oh, it's chaos. And that's Burke in the gravel.
Yep.
Seavor's got mental. Brittech car in the gravel too. That's one of the boosted cars. Struggling to get going. He does now. That was Mike Horder, the Welshman, in the kitty litter. He gets going again, but yeah, all sorts of canniballage at the hairpin. I hear more tyres squealing.
Oh, Mangan's in the gravel to avoid an accident, and I think Simon Marshall, and he's ripped a hole in that front of that Mercedes. Oh, and then Ethan Bass there. With a spin. I thought he'd been hit, but he's doing a spin turn.
I think it helped. I think the contact helped him. Mark Woodhouse is off. That's at one of the hairpins. That's at the rallycross circuit as well. That's the Team Mad car in all sorts of trouble once again.
Beautiful looking car this year, the Team Mad car. Normally a very tiny livery there, but the nice chrome on the front.
I wonder if these iRacing updates haven't helped for you.
We've got the chrome horn out at some point. Foggy and Jacobs going well then. Aegis still leads. We did do.
Right.
What's going on here? I think my timing tower isn't working. Something isn't working. Looking at Kevin Bolland. Is the timing tower correct?
Looks it to me.
So the live timing's wrong then, is it?
So it's Aegis that leads, Foggy second, then it's Jacobs, Roberts, Jones, and then Draycott
and Beard.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. I'll just follow that then.
Yeah, so all the positions on the timing tower refer to where they are in class.
Oh.
That should help.
Well, that was close between the BMW and the Mercedes. They're going to Campsat. And the BMW is I don't know who the BMW is. Is it Matt Bunn? It is.
Thompson. Yeah, Matt Bunn in there too.
And then the triple one of Fletcher. And then Baird, Barry Baird, was in the BMW last season, and Thompson. Barry Baird's gone to the Audi. Nomad Sim Racing.
Into the complex we go then.
Oh, and there's that's Bolland running wide. It's going to allow Bunn to come through. Might lose a couple of spots here, Kevin Bolland.
Fight for the lead, and it's Nicole Foggy. He started last in race 2. He got up to the midfield in race in that race,
Yeah.
and now he's in the lead here in race 3 as he demotes John Agers to second with a move up the inside into the first corner.
Yeah, the matte black Audi with the chrome on there. Oh my goodness, it's Bolland, and it's over, and he's in the gravel.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not going to get out from there. And I haven't got a clue what happened to him. And that was pretty spectacular ending for Kevin Bolland. Here he comes, and into turn 1. Adam, take us through this.
So riding on board with him down the front straight. He's got 2 cars in front of him going wheel to wheel. Let's see if he gets involved in this at all. He gets on the brakes, a bit wide on the exit. Oh, hello.
Oh, he
Now,
sort
who
of
was
scooped
that?
up, didn't he?
Yeah, it was.
It was an Audi. I think it was Baird, wasn't it? It was just it was the group that we just started to look at. Oh,
Speaking of
Baird's crashed.
Baird is around.
Oh.
And hopefully everybody misses him.
Somebody drove through the front of his car then, and nothing happened. Oh dear. Barry Baird in the gravel then. And the Ferrari then of Madsen. Nice livery there. Defending hard from Mike Gray, the winner of race 2. So BMW doing a great job here. We weren't sure with the couple of long straights that the BMW was going to be fantastic, but does love the corners, especially in the final sector. Oh, what's happened? Adam Hedgecock, is there a problem? Oh, Morgan Butler. Morgan Butler for Pete Newman Media has gone off. And he's now going to be under pressure from Timms and Mangan. Mangan in the McLaren. Where's he going to go, the Irishman? And the Simortal car down the inside. Yeah, that's nicely done. But it's a Simortal sponsorship. I'm not sure what the team is there for Oscar Mangan.
Problems for Mike Gray. The race 2 winner is
Oh,
off at the hairpin. Oh, the
That's
right hander just
awkward.
before the hairpin.
that's turn 4. Yeah, that's an awkward place to crash. Everybody coming past like that.
Not sure what would have befallen the race 2 winner, but that is a shame for him to end the evening on that note after it going so well for him in race 2.
So you can't get out from that position, can you?
No,
the thing,
it's like the chicane,
impossible.
you've just got to sit and watch them all go by, really.
Here's Carl Jacquelet in the Year 1 sim racing, the fluorescent car.
Oh,
Behind him was
time bomb.
James King. Oh, Jacquelet's made a right mess of it. And he annihilates the McLaren. I think it's Andy Shield.
oh, poor Andy knew nothing about that. Oh, it's Morgan Butler, actually, I think.
No, it was Andy Shield.
That was another car.
Gregory's off at the following corner. What's happened to him?
Texans Fitstyle Motorsport in big trouble there. Shades of one of those MotoGP crashes at that hairpin.
Oh God!
I remember a couple of years ago, was it Lorenzo that missed the
From,
break point?
that was yeah, when four people were taken out there. It wasn't that Lorenzo, Marquez, Rossi, and Lorenzo, and someone.
Petrosa,
Rosa,
maybe?
maybe? Yeah.
One of those. It was a big one. I don't remember that.
Here's Woodhouse. He's in a BMW today. He was off earlier on. He's not done too badly to recover. Jack Hills has crashed. George McClay has crashed, apparently, according to this, but not sure if that's true. Looking at Nathan Dixon. That's the first time we've spoken about him. SCC Racing. And he's having a go at Barry Baird, who's trying to make himself, trying to get back up the order. Not been a bad race at all so far. In terms of Foggy then, what's the lead for him?
It is 3.7 seconds. He is loving life at the front here. Not a care in the world for the XVR Sim Racing driver. It was XVR Sim Racing that won race 2 with Mike Gray, and as things stand, it looks like it's going to be double success for XVR Sim Racing tonight with Nick Foggy at the front. Two is John Aegis in second.
Well, Foggy is a world GT champion, isn't he, in the past?
Yeah, he is, and of course in the series we also cover on a Thursday night on this very channel, the iRacing eSports network in the RLTCR. He does very well in that too. Here is Josh Thompson trying to get past Craig Jones's Ferrari, and it looks like the BMW is going to do just that. Not often you see a BMW go by a Ferrari in a straight line, but Josh Thompson's done it.
Well, it's set up well then, Thompson. Let's see what the team of Thompson, is it Williams? Williams, isn't it? Thompson is driving for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Should have known that, to be honest. But in my panic to try and figure out who was who, completely forgot that I'd seen that he joined Williams. This is why I should have turned up to the media day as Ross McFarlane coming through in P4.
Texans Fitstyle have had a good start to the campaign. They often do well in the team's championship, and once again they've got 2 cars inside the top 10. 3 if you include Mark Fletcher in 11th.
Yeah, that's really a burgeoning team, isn't it? Fitstyle. They seem to have some very good drivers. I know they were doing the, I believe they were doing the Bathurst race.
Oh wow!
Weekend. And but you know, Sam Fitzpatrick's one of the team principals over there, along with Jack Stiles. But look at this. It's Jones defending into the chicane, but we've seen what happens when you do defend into the chicane, Adam. You sometimes have to. But on his way, here's Ali Stevens. And look at this. That's Ben Palmer. The big old weave to the inside. And the SimSports racing car is going to go through. Stevens. He's experienced it. He won't be fazed by that. Oh, what's happened? Thompson and Beard, it said were off just a moment ago. If they were off next to each other. Bunn and McClay then in a battle. Yeah, I don't think there was anything going on there in the end. Thompson and Beard. That was just Thompson possibly just taking the spot as Bunn tries to cut back at him through turn 4. Into 5, there's no way through. Oh, he thought about it though, didn't he?
Did, yeah, didn't he?
Interesting slogan on the car in front of Matt Bunn.
Just said that, yeah.
Matt Bunn, one of the admins on this, no wonder he's doing so well. Going through this chicane section, which can be pretty treacherous if you're not paying attention. Just under 8 minutes to go then in round 3 of the World GT Championship. Here on the iRacing eSports Network, Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Sam Kumo. Bring you all the action, and here comes Thompson. The Williams on the inside. Of the boosted car.
And that is the man for the Ironman through into 6th place. So that is him getting 21 places now. So finished in P3 in race 2 after winning race 1. And now he is back within reach of the top 5. He's only got a couple of attempts now to get past Chaz Draycott, who's in 5th.
Roberts is on for some bubbly in the category anyway.
Indeed, yeah. In fact, the top 3 as well are all class leaders as well. So they'll all be stepping atop the podium in their retrospective classes. Ross McFarlane.
That's impressive.
Past John Roberts. There you go.
McFarlane then is the first one to sort of break the pattern. It was 1-1-1, 2-2, 3-3. And actually Rose and Jacobs are side by side for 3rd. Jacobs still leads the AM category, but Christian Rose is having a look. He's racing under the Czech flag here, it looks like. Don't know if that's right or not, but
switch down the outside into the chicane. Fastest lap of the race, Nicole Foggy, 1:43.6. Just if we weren't sure on the pace of the Audis, Gossi goes and pulls that one out of the bag as here come the rest of them across the line.
Well, it's the usual Nicole Foggy mid-race fastest lap, isn't it?
Thompson's not too far away though. He's put in a new PB of 1:43.9. The only driver ready to hold a candle to Foggy in terms of getting inside the 1:43s. It looks like anyway.
No, he's very skilled, is the Scotsman, and not surprised he's leading this race. Come through exceptionally well. Okay, McFarlane then. He's closing in on Roberts. He's having a good run. Really is in what is 8th place at the moment. 3rd in his class. McFarlane, another Scotsman, skilled at the wheel of the GT3 cars. Different team for him this time, Adam, but same motivation, same pace.
Definitely, yeah. Very close here as they go down the back straight. Is CQR car going to get by? Watch out, Mercedes! Oh,
boy!
Well, that was very almost curtains for Tom Jacobs in the Texense Fitstar Motorsports car. Fortunately, he was able to bail at the very last minute, and
well, that were very similar to what happened with Jacqueline, wasn't it? Now, has Kevin Duval gone off with Jake Blackhall?
Oh no! If he has, then that's free. That's free. Not the best free races for Blackhall. Here is the replay.
And that is that Blackhall there in the BMW? It looks like it.
Blackhall goes for the inside of it. Is Blackhall?
Duval goes wide. Comes back on. Oh, nudgy. I think that's just potentially read on the potentially read on our system as a crash. Maybe. I mean, it was technically a crash, I suppose.
Going to Blackhall, he's in P15 in his class anyway.
When did he start?
Overall, he's in 26th, which is still 28 places gained, and does make him the biggest mover in the field. So, I must say, tip of the hat to him.
Yeah, very good indeed. We're looking at the battle. There's a good battle going ahead of them, in fact, with Bart Paré, or Parrett. And he is just ahead of... Is that... I don't know who he's ahead of, to be honest.
He's ahead of... Michael Abdoga's ahead of him, and then Lars Jepsen behind him as well, yeah.
Yeah, they're just behind Abdoga. So that's not bad to be just behind Michael Abdoga. Very quick driver indeed. Chris Danes ahead of them. We haven't seen much of Chris Danes today. Kept out of trouble nicely. Sometimes struggles to do that, but definitely is doing a good run tonight. And ahead of him is James King for SIMMSA. That was too many M's. SIMMSA eSports. Simza.
Good recovery from King, to be fair, after race 2, where we saw him spun around facing the wrong way at the start. He's now trying to crack the top 10 in class. It would be the top 20 overall. to gain 19 places in this third race.
Is Simon Field going to have to bow down to the king here?
Oh, well.
See if he does go up the inside.
The
He's
Battle
going
Field.
for it.
Oh,
He's going for it. Oh! Oh, they're still very close. And look at that. There is Chris Danes. And we know he's not going to be shy.
shades of Irvine and Fizzy Keller there at that first corner.
Yeah. Oh, contact between Field and Danes as Danes tried to go through a gap which I don't think was ever really there, but now he's trying to find one. Oh. Oh no, he swings it. He swings it to the inside for 5. Tiny bit of contact. Oh, round goes Field. Into the gravel goes Parrett as he tries to avoid it.
Backwards into the wall as well for Field. Hopefully it hasn't caused any damage to his Mercedes.
Danes has got damage, I think. He's limping out of the way. I wonder if he might even be waiting for Simon Field, you know. I think he might be. It's good sportsmanship if he is. Certainly for Danes.
Tell you what, the fight for third, yeah, right on cue, is on screen. It's John Aegis versus Josh Thompson versus Ross McFarlane as well as they come onto the front straight. It looks like the Maltese might just be about to be engulfed by the Manx here.
Oh, look at the Mercedes, look at the pace of it.
Oh.
On the inside nearly. Oh, Thompson slightly misses the corner. Great skill by McFarlane, he's inches away from the BMW. Manages not to make contact though. And both of them are away and ahead of Aegis. Charles Draycott there in P6. Second in his category. Going for the lead ahead of Aegis here. Draycott loves this series though. He does some of the work, some of the media work for it. Down the inside, bang! Oh, and he spins round. There's the commentator's curse.
Oh,
that's the first one of the season. Nico Foggy though, he's going to take the victory here in Spain.
Oh yeah.
Just got one sector to go.
Get away from the chaos and the C-bar finally relaxes. Nico Foggy has done a great job at the front. And well, he's pulled away, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest winning margins we've ever seen in the World GT Championship. 14 seconds clear.
Yeah, huge.
If my timing is right, of Christian Rose.
Oh!
Careful. Through the final corner.
Might need the car again, mate. Nico Foggy through and wins race 3 of the day in the World GT Championship. That's a statement and a half, is that? Nearly 15 seconds ahead of Christian Rose, who comes through 1-2 for Audi this time. So, good work for the German company. And then BMW in third with Josh Thompson and Williams. BMW Williams, I guess, technically speaking.
Blast from the past for you.
Or a Williams BMW, depending on your preference. That was a great combination, by the way, for the few years they were together. Yeah, they weren't together for that long, really.
Yeah, 2000 to 2005.
Yeah.
Webber and Heitfeld, the last 2 drivers that drove for them. Over the line come the rest of the field. There's Chris Coglan there in 6th in class. That is 33rd overall. 15 places gained for the Scotsman. That's a great job from him.
I tell you what, though, Adam, the F1 car launches this week, they're really getting me in the mood for the racing season to start. And what a great way to sort of start this one off with the race here at Barcelona. Of course, the F1 testing is going to be here in the next couple of weeks.
There are these content strategists that like to release the livery first before get the car out. Takes away half a bit of the fun. But here is Mark Woodhouse. He's not worried about his livery because he's already got it on his car. He finishes 13th in class, but that is 39th overall. But good comeback from him despite being off in the early stages. And I must say, when the sun shines on that car, it looks mighty, I must say.
Yeah, and they're going to have good days, Team Man. You know, they're going to definitely improve. And we're going to see them up near the front, I'm sure, at some point. Yeah, thank you for sticking with us tonight. We know there's been a couple of issues out there, but we're very pleased that you're here for another season of the World GT Championship, and we hope that you're going to join us over the coming weeks and months as this season carries on.
Next week it's the first Enduro of the year as well, so you get a taste of the sprint race format here. Next week we're off to the mountain for an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh dear me.
Well, if you watch the Bathurst,
mate.
iRacing Bathurst, I was having hello, two teammates taking each other out there, Team Lizard, and one of them's just stuck their tongue out at one of them, and
then they camouflaged into each other.
Well, yeah, I was having a meeting with some of the guys at Red Bull today, and they actually watched it, and they were commenting on how Max Verstappen managed the antics, and Max Verstappen ended up managing to take out the Red Bull eSports cars. No conflict of interest there.
Not sure why he's not driving for them. Anyway, that's another story. But
let's get the finish you got. Nico Foggy wins the final race of the day. So we had a Manxman winning race 1 with Josh Thompson. We had race 2 going the way of Mike Gray, UK and Ireland, and then we got the flag of Scotland, O'Flower of Scotland, playing for Nico Foggy, who wins the final race of the day. Christian Rose finishes in 2nd. Josh Thompson gains 24 places to finish on the rostrum. Ross McFarlane must have followed him through the field, because he also gained 24 places to finish in 4th. And then John Aegis, the pole sitter, no shame in that, a top 5 for the Maltese in the Merc. Car Triple 1 in 6th, Mark Fletcher. Then Ben Palmer in 7th, then 8th, Tom Jacobs in his Ferrari and his Mercedes. John Roberts in his Ferrari, finishing in 9th, and Ash Beard completing the top 10. He started there. 11 for George McClay, Chaz Draycott in 12th despite the late incident there. Then Lewis Bibby 13th, Matt Bunn in P14, Craig Jones 15th, another Ferrari, Nick Madsen in 16th. Then it's Ellis Stevens 17th in the Year 1 racing car, Michael Blake, Pete Harrod, James King gaining 20 spots to finish 20th. 21st for Lars Jepsen, good driving race 3 after a few trips to the Rallycross circuit in race 2. Michael Evdoka there in 22nd. Then one of the Belgians there in 23rd place. 24th for Jake Blackpool, and then another of the CCTS teams there in 25th. Then 26th for Richard Warmingham, Oscar Mangan in 27th, Simon Fields 28th. Then the 2 BritTech SimSport teammates of Fraser Smith and Chris Daines. Adam Hedgecock finishes in 31st. Another of the Belgian cars there in 32nd. Then we got Chris Coughlin, Mike Horder, Barry Baird for Nomad Sim Racing in 35th. Paul King for BritTech eSports in 36th. Then Ben Gregory in the TechSense Fitstyle Motorsport car, 37th. Jack Hills gained 12 places to finish 38th in the end after being upside down in race 2. Mark Woodhouse, 39th. 40th for Dean Timms. Then Lars Van Rijn there in 41st. Then Morgan Butler, Simon Underhill. Then Mike Gray, Matt Draycott. Despite having what looked like it was him that had the incident before we got even going, finishes 44th. And it was Carl Jacquelet, despite the heavy impacts at the hairpin on the first lap, finishes 46th. Then it's Nathan Dixon, Niall Crofer, then Simon Marshall, Steve Burke, Kevin Boland, Andy Shield, Ethan Bass, and at the back, Billy Fletcher in 54th place.
Well done for going through all that lot. I am going to have to leave you, Adam. There's a bit of an emergency going on, so I will have to leave you. But thanks everybody for watching. I'll leave you with Adam and Sam. Thank you.
Cheers, Andrew Woodhouse. We do have a few drivers waiting to talk to us in the interview room. And let's start with one of our winners for the first race. He won race 1, and now he joins us in the interview room to talk about it. Josh, welcome. Back in the World GT Championship again. This time we're in the GT3s and the BMW, a car that you were in before, and it's all dependable, isn't it? It's got you a race victory and a podium in race 2 as well.
Yeah, can't go wrong with something you know inside out. obviously the BMW for me was the fastest and best choice of my driving style. I think the Audi and, well, all the cars, to be honest, the counter's going to be very mixed. I feel like there's going to be some tracks where the car won't perform for me, vice versa. But yeah, all reliable, know it inside out, and I'd probably say I'm a better driver, more experienced now in GT compared to Season 4, which I think gives me a bit of a help with the car.
Well, yeah, we were saying this during the broadcast. Is it a case with these GT3 cars that you pick whichever car suits your driving style best, really?
Yeah, 100%. I've proved this theory a little bit with Neo a few weekends ago. I was in the Audi and I was dreadful. Nowhere near what I could be. I could jump in the BMW and find a second. I can put the car at the front most of the time, and I know where it can be. Obviously, I trust the car a lot more than the other cars in racing. As you probably saw, I could throw it around a lot more.
Yeah.
Got a bit eager sometimes, as I showed in race 2, but you know, in other cars, I don't think I could do what I could do in this.
Was Barcelona a circuit that suited the BMW better than the rest of the cars, or is it just the BMW is one of those cars that's going to be pretty strong this season?
I think it's going to be strong for the car this season. I think a lot of people write it off because they say it's not fast in a straight line. That's not the case. You will see at Daytona and Bathurst, it can match most cars in a straight line. But going back to what you said with this track, I think the car was the best in the final sector. Oscar, when he was behind me in race 1, he was faster than me in split 1. We're about the same in split 2, but the final split, where you'd expect the BMW to be good, where it's got a lot of rotation, nimble, it just wiped the floor with a lot of the cars, especially I got saved with the heat. Hot races, obviously BMW home turf. If it was 18 degrees track, I think the Audi and the McLaren would have kind of swamped me here, going off what I knew with BRS and Sprint Series in the week.
Oh, well, but next week then it's Bathurst, and it's the first of the Enduros. I don't know if you did the 12 hours on the weekend, but you'll be back there a week later, and you're looking forward to that in the BMW for an hour and 45 minutes around the mountain?
Well, hopefully I can actually get in the car this time, which would be nice, because the actual 12-hour, according to iRacing, we never took part in the race because of a technical issue. So yeah, it'd be kind of nice to go back there. Obviously BMW, I was with a 12-hour drove the Ferrari, so it'd be nice to jump back into BMW. Obviously, it's a great car around there, and without the BOP, the car was ridiculously fast testing and stuff for the 12 hours. So I think if I don't walk away with a good result there, a podium at worst, I think I've kind of missed a good haul of points there with other tracks coming up, which the BMW won't be as strong at.
And are you cautiously confident about the season as a whole as well?
Hard to say at the moment. I don't want to. I kind of fell in that trap season 5. I've then lost my head. Season 6, lost my head. Season 4, lost my head. Keep it humble at the moment. Long way to go. Obviously tonight was a great start, but yeah, there's still a lot to play for.
Oh, Josh, great to have you with us. Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, so you guys are doing the broadcast again. Obviously, great to see it on the eSports Network. Nice to be back on it. Everyone from Williams and Williams eSports and Williams Gym.
There we go. Well done on the race victory and the podium in race 2 as well. And yeah, best of luck at Bathurst next week.
Yeah, guys.
Thompson there. Move on to the next one then. Christian Rose, who's had a pretty solid start to the campaign. And the CQR club with Pure Sims Audi joins us in the interview room now for a quick show. Well, Christian, welcome. Good start to the campaign for you. You've had a few solid results there in those 3 races tonight.
Good evening. Yeah. Crazy. If you'd have said I'd have had 2 podiums by the end of tonight, I wouldn't have believed you. I've not had much time to test, so to come away with 2 podiums is absolutely fantastic and a fantastic start to the season.
Yeah, we had Josh Thompson in just before. He was telling us that the Audi was a bit tricky to drive around this circuit. How was it for you in the 3 races, especially with not as much practice as you were saying?
I didn't find it too bad. I think the hotter it got, the worse it got, so to say. I would have much preferred colder conditions, as Josh would have preferred the hotter ones. So can't have it all, but yeah, I was really pleased with the setup I had. with the limited time. So absolutely delighted.
How's it with the reverse grids as well? Despite them happening, it looks like you were still able to get some solid results out of it.
Yeah, the reverse grids weren't too big tonight, which for the first round probably was a good thing. Had a bit of misfortune in race 2, meeting a car had been spun in the final chicane, but other than that, I found the racing to be fair, clean, and really good.
Next week, though, we switch from the free 20-minute sprint races to the first enduro of the campaign out at Bathurst. How's the Audi going to go around there? It's going to be one where straight line speed is going to have to be compromised with the aerodynamics to get around the tight and twisty mountain section.
Yeah, I think the key to getting a very good lap time at Bathurst is to have a solid car over the top. I'm not sure that's going to be where the Audi comes to shine, but we'll have to try and do some testing and see how we go. But fingers crossed.
Finally, what's the reasoning behind the Czech flag on your name on the overlay? I don't know if you've have any input in that, but that's what we've got anyway.
I'm dual nationality.
There we go. There we go. That's learn something new every day. Well, Christian, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yep. First of all, just a big thanks to everyone at CQR. Again, we've got plenty of drivers in this championship. It's fantastic to see. To all of our sponsors, but mainly to the series sponsors, Pure Sims, Sim Sports, USA, and S Immortal, and yourselves for the fantastic streaming you do every season. It's a pleasure to have you on board again.
It's great to watch, honestly. 54 cars to start the season. It's we might have had a few issues at the start of the broadcast, but the 2.5 races that we were able to cover have been brilliant. So, Christian, well done today. Thanks for coming to speak to us, and all the best at Bathurst next week.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Christian Rose there, and we end the night with Ethan Bass, who drives for BritTech Sim Sports, and we will get him in for a quick word. And he joins us in the interview room now. Ethan, welcome, and what a start to the season for you and the BritTech Sim Sport guys in the Merc. It was a pretty hectic free race, to say the least.
Hectic, I think, is an understatement.
Yeah, it's true. How was it for you guys out there, though, in those free races?
When we were racing, it was actually a good bit of fun. It was keeping safe, and especially race 2 was probably the most enjoyable. I got a 0x result from that event, so just following people and keeping the nose clean so in the first round. No point in being silly.
Yeah, what's it like racing in packs with 54 cars? I know it's not something that happens too often to many of us here in our racing, but when you get the rolling start and you're right in and amongst the field, are you kind of trusting the guys around you to make sure that they're clean at the start, and you're just trying to take everything as cautiously as you can in those first few corners?
I definitely am trying myself. I think I actually got mugged on the starts a few times because I'm probably a bit too cautious, and it's a case of I don't want to ever jump the start or run into the back of somebody who's trying to slow down. So I don't want to jump.
And BritTech Sim Sports aims for the season. I know Fraser and Chris had a solid finish to the final race of the day. They gained quite a few positions as well. What are your aims for the season as a whole?
The main aim for the season will be the teams championship. It's a case of we've got 2 teams running, and one is predominantly pro-am, the other is am. That's the main goal. The main hope is just 3 solid races, which hopefully will happen at some point because we've all had our ups and downs tonight.
Yeah, next week is the first endurance race of the campaign at Bathurst. Have you took part in many of the enduros before? I know we often see you in the sprint race formats, but are you looking forward to that one?
The endurance races I think were my most favourite last season in the GTE cars, and I took part in the Bathurst 12 hours just on the weekend. I had a great bit of fun, so I've got quite a lot of confidence I'll be in the same car, and Merc will probably be just as fast around the mountain.
Cool. Well, before we let you go, then, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
No, thanks very much. Thanks to you guys streaming this. It'll be good fun to watch back and see what happened up the front. Because sooner or later I'll get closer and I can see it from a. Then I have to thank Mark Sykes for the great livery. Probably still the best looking car on the grid. It's not an M8, but it works just as nice. SimLabs, NGR, Joyce Designs, and Scruffy Bear Pictures is another new sponsor for the season. They make great videos.
Great. Well, thanks for your patience in the interview room. We got around to you in the end, and yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us, Ethan. We'll hopefully speak to you at Bathurst next week.
No, that's not a problem. Thanks for interviewing me. It was good fun, and on to Bathurst. Should be a great bit of fun. Love the track.
Cool. Hopefully speak to you then.
Catch you around.
Well, he's just arrived in the interview room now. We'll get a quick word with Chaz Draycott, who is the man behind the trailer, and it was a good trailer. I don't know about the same can be said about the race meeting, but he joins us now anyway. Chaz, welcome. First race meeting of the season in the books. We did get you on camera a few times, and how would you rate the 3 races as a whole?
Difficult, very difficult. This is, well, the word we've been using in CQR for the last few weeks has been spicy, and it certainly has been that. First race was tough. I tried to avoid the incident at the hairpin, went very wide, and then did the same again at the chicane, and I just sat there and waited for everyone to go past, so I was 51st by the end of the first lap. And then it was just recovering from there. I had a great race in the last one. Little bit of contact with Tom. We've spoken briefly about that afterwards. All is good. He just moved a bit under the brakes, but luckily he didn't lose too much. Final race, though, was just down to my silly move on John at the end. We've also spoken about that, and he's been very complimentary of my pace behind him, and obviously he was defending well, so, it made me go to desperate measures. Luckily, he didn't lose out too much from that either, and, I got what I deserved, really, with a silly move.
54 cars as well, bumper grids for the campaign, and a good trailer to go with it as well. Back to the GT3s as well for this season. What are the main challenges of driving these as opposed to the GTEs, which we've had over the last few seasons?
It's getting used to how these cars handle on the brakes. I always felt that with the GTEs not having ABS, you could sort of manage it around the corner. You could get a little bit of a lock up on the inside, but it would help rotate the car. With these, when the ABS starts to kick in, they want a straight line. They want to wobble about on the brakes, and they're very, very tough to get turned in. Obviously, they're not as capable downforce-wise either, so you really got to be careful with where you put the weight. I mean, the Audi, it turns out of the corner really well, but you want to be careful about the rear end coming round. So it's just getting used to how she handles, really. It's definitely a nice change, and it's great to see it happen again. And obviously, the trailer made a point of that.
Nicole managed to get a win for Audi in the end, but it was BMW that won races 1 and 2. They look like they've got quite a bit of power behind them this season.
Yeah, definitely. That Beam is a fast car, man. I was driving it in the 12 hours over the weekend, and that thing shifts. I mean, Matt Bunn's driving it this season. When we were doing pre-season testing with him, that boy's fast in that car. But yeah, it's good because, I mean, it's an outdated car, let's face it. But, iRacing do a good job at keeping it up there, and, it's competitive, and it's great because it keeps the variety in these GT3 races going. And, it looks better on the broadcast. There's more cars involved, and, well, let's face it, it's a very pretty machine, isn't it?
Definitely. Oh, there's some of the liveries, I must admit, that do look staggering on that BMW Z4. Not that I'm impartial, I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that car. Bathurst next week, then. You mentioned cars, these GT3 cars struggle on the brakes and trying to get them to turn in. Well, you kind of need both of those at Bathurst next week for the endurance race anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously, I'm used to doing laps in the Beam around there from the weekend, so it's time to get the Audi over there and smash the laps in, because it's not going to be easy. But that's going to be just like the 12 hours. It's going to be a case of survival. If you keep it out the wall and get the car around, then you can achieve the results you want.
Well, we look forward to it. Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
The boys at CQR for having me on. I've been with them nearly a year now, and I feel like I've come quite a long way, and it's thanks to them. It's been brilliant. Pete Newman Media, of course, the team that I'm in. Chris and Morgan for the weekend. We did a great job in the Bathurst 12 hours. LuxSim24, I became their brand ambassador in January, which I'm very pleased about, so thanks to those guys. And of course, you boys as well for doing a good stream as always, and obviously, thanks for having me in for an interview.
No worries, Chaz. Hopefully it's the first of many over the course of the season. Yeah, thanks for coming and speaking to us, and all the best at Bathurst next week.
Thanks very much, boys. Have a good evening.
And that's the end of Chaz Draco, and that is the end of the show for the evening. Again, apologies for not covering the first, well, for the majority of the first race of the evening. Technical issues that no idea where they sprung up from. The media day works fine. Wonder if there's something to do with the iRacing updates. Well, hopefully they'll be resolved for next week, because we have got the first of the Enduros. That is at Mount Panorama Bathurst. We'll be here on the iRacing Esports Network to cover it all at the same time next week, which is 8 PM GMT. So my thanks to Sam Kuma, I must say, for taking time out of a Monday night that I bet you he might have had plans for, to join me and Andrew Woodhouse for this one, a technically hindered duo in the comms box for this one. So I massively do appreciate it. Otherwise, we might not have been able to have brought you anything. And yeah, reminder that we'll be back this time next week on the iRacing Esports Network when the World GT Championship heads to Mount Panorama Bathurst Down Under for the second race meeting of the campaign. So from me and from Sam and from Andrew Woodhouse here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, bye for now.